All right. Now, just so everybody knows or anybody is wondering, I just found an incredible YouTube channel. Some of you may have recognized that tune, a song by Dr. Dre called Still DRE. But this particular YouTuber has a bunch of instrumentals using medieval instruments. One of the most unique YouTube channels I've ever seen in my life. So check that out. So I'm back already, and I wanted to make a lighthearted video. This will be therapeutic for me, speaking of things that are therapeutic. And I hope it will be therapeutic for you as well. But I'm not just here to crack jokes about dogs. I never do that. I always try to share information. And I try my best to back the information up with facts. So I'm going to do my best here, and I hope you bear with me. Now, as you all know, all of the experts, all the dog experts, all behaviorists, all the dog people, they swear up and down that dogs are protective, that dogs will protect their owners. They say that dogs are territorial, that dogs will protect their territory. I say dogs are too dumb, far too dumb to be territorial. Think about it. To be territorial, it requires some amount of intelligence. Wouldn't you agree? Dogs are 100% food motivated. Always. It's all about food. Dogs are designed to be dysfunctional, which is, sort of weird to say. But they are structured to be dysfunctional. That's the definition of a mutant. Their existence is defined by how dysfunctional they are and how they don't fit into any environment whatsoever. Definitely not the home, as we all know. And they're not suited for the wild. They can't exist out in the wild. So these things, you cannot expect them to be truly intelligent in any way. How could they be territorial if they don't fit into any natural environment? Think about that. No, they're too much of a mutant. They're too dysfunctional and too dumb to be territorial. Now, many different organizations with a reputation, like the American Kennel Club, like you see on the screen, they insist that dogs are territorial. No, dogs are too dumb. Now, why do I say that? It is because it's been proven several times. It's been proven. If dogs were truly territorial, and there's several sources that you can refer to. Territorial behaviors. Look at that. They say it's an instinct. Territorial behaviors are a survival instinct. Guarding territory and hoarding resources like food, toys, and other items they value are behaviors that have been ingrained in dogs for centuries, because having these resources improves their odds of survival. I call BS. Yes, me with no degree. I am calling BS on all of these highly educated individuals. Now, give me a chance to prove myself. I believe It has been proven that dogs are not smart enough to be territorial by the number of burglars who have entered into the territory of dogs and fed them food. Fed the dogs food, and the dogs did not attack. If a dog is truly territorial, you won't be able to con them with food. Even if you have food, they're going to attack you because they don't know you and you are trespassing. You're on their territory. It would be impossible to avoid being attacked especially if you're inside the dog's home. It would be impossible to avoid being attacked if the dog was truly territorial. Numerous times, burglars have simply given the dog food and went all throughout the home for a prolonged period of time, taking items. This particular burglar got so comfortable that he made a cup of coffee. If I'm not mistaken, he sort of lounged in the recliner for a while as well, after feeding the food-obsessed, brain-dead mutt. See the title, Burglar Feeds Dog and Makes a Cup of Coffee during a very relaxed break-in. Okay. So I was lucky enough to find one example. Let me show you another one. Okay. I'm prepared to do my best to try to prove my point. All right, let's see what we can do here. How many of you seen this? Pretty sure some of you seen this.
Home video captures what could be a daily scene in any household. Guy comes home, gives the dog some treats, roams around. The only problem, this guy doesn't live here.
My heart was already racing a little bit, but when I saw the actual man in my living room, I just felt like the adrenaline coursing through my body.
When Mia Wen checked her home cameras from work, spotting a burglar was all the more shocking because the camera recording isn't even for security. It's a puppy cam.
And these are two dogs. You know how they say when there's more than one dog, it increases the chances that they'll attack? These dogs are not attacking because he has already given them food.
When Mia Wen checked her home cameras from work, spotting a burglar was all the more shocking because the camera recording isn't even for security. It's a puppy cam.
I decided.
Y'all see that?
Even for security.
See how these food-obsessed mutants are looking at this man? They want more food. The only thing dogs care about is food. He's already given them something. They want more. Both dogs sitting there with their mouth hanging open, tongue hanging out. This is a burglar.
It's a puppy cam.
I decided to set it up to watch my dogs when I was at work, just because I was sort of curious as to what they were doing when I wasn't there.
The surveillance is set up by using an old smartphone and a free app called Manything. It records a live feed and sends alerts when it senses motion. After seeing the stranger, Wen called 911.
And there was only one person, right?
Yes, all I saw was one.
Then, in real time, she watched as Tempe police closed in.
I had about 4 or 5 coworkers. We were all gathered around my desk. It looked like an action movie when they sent the dogs in and they had all their SWAT gear.
Cops caught the suspect, later identified as Aaron White, in the alley.
A lot of the time with surveillance cameras, the only thing that they're good for is showing you after the fact.
The Manything app is free, and Wen did call them to thank them for their service.
Now, I thought dogs were protective. I thought they were territorial. I thought it was been ingrained into them over thousands and thousands of years. Is it just deactivated if you give the dog food? Huh?
Buckhead homeowners beefing up security tonight after her home alarm system and her 2 dogs failed to stop some crooks from breaking in.
In fact, she says the burglars knew exactly what to do to the dogs. Well, Fox 5's Denise Dillon is live in Buckhead. And Denise, these were 2 very big, very loud dogs.
Yes, they were, and they are, but the crooks used some very sneaky methods to get to the dogs. They got to them right where it counted, their bellies.
Like I said, this is what you should have been doing the other night.
Dash can have a...
Does this look like an intelligent creature to you? Or does it look like a brain-dead, food-obsessed mutant?
really big bark, but he also...
I keep trying to tell these dog lovers, dogs are nothing but a collection of neurons. There's no intelligence here. They're just food obsessed. That's why they have a strong sense of smell. Their only purpose is to eat. Their only drive is to eat. To eat and spread the scent coming from their anus, which is why they wag their tail. It activates scent glands inside their anus, and they wag their tail to spread the scent. This is to ward off other animals that might come and try to eat their food. Why they're made to spread scent seeping from out of their anus is beyond me. But this is not the anatomy of an intelligent creature.
So has a taste for the finer things in life, and when some burglars smashed their way into this Buckhead home,
Yeah, I threw a rock through the window, and we found a big rock on the floor. There was just glass all over this room.
they knew how to keep Dash and his buddy Tucker quiet.
Fed the filet mignons to my dogs.
The burglar fed the dogs filet mignon. Filet mignon. Doesn't this look like a dumb creature? It doesn't look attractive. It doesn't look cute, cuddly, or anything like that. It just looks dumb. Because it is. Not a functioning brain cell in this worthless mutant. It's not protective. It is not territorial. It's too dumb.
Oh, that's right. 4 thick...
Doesn't it look dumb?
That's right.
Y'all heard me talk about how cats look intelligent. Well, this is not the look that I'm talking about. This is the look of a dumb mutant that's only concerned with eating. Eating and attacking for no reason. 2 behaviors that does not require any intelligence. Eat and attack. Keep in mind, dogs, the only animals on the planet that will kill, attack, and kill just to attack and kill.
4 thick, juicy, tender pieces of beef straight from the fridge. It kept the pups quiet while crooks ransacked the home, stealing computers, camera equipment, and jewelry.
So they stole computers, camera equipment, and jewelry. They paced back and forth through this home. The dogs never had their territorial instinct kick in. It never dawned on them. The burglar gave the dogs plenty of time to come to the realization that he was an intruder. Doesn't this instinct of being territorial kick in? No. All he had to do was give it food, and that's all the mutt was concerned about. You can steal whatever you want from a home that is supposedly guarded by a dog, because dogs are too dumb to be protective. That requires a bit of intelligence.
And my emerald bracelet and my pearls.
Tracy Piovason says the crooks were sneaky and nimble. They broke in through a back window well off the ground, one that wouldn't likely be wired to the alarm system, then climbed over from the deck and unlocked it.
At least it was a wake-up call that we needed to add, some additional security. And I always hoped with the dogs being here it would be a deterrent, but not at all.
Because they're too dumb. No. And more burglars are going to catch on to the fact that dogs are too dumb to protect. They're too dumb to be protective. Too dumb to be territorial. Do not dare put dogs in the same category as an intelligent lion, tiger, cougar, or any other animal that is truly territorial. Do y'all know there was one burglar who even fed a dog glass? How many of y'all heard about this? You can even feed a dog something that's not food. This burglar didn't have food to feed to the dog. So after the burglar smashed the glass, he simply fed the dog broken glass, and it worked. Okay? How do you explain this? All of you highly educated, intelligent dog behaviorists, all of you who's researched dogs for so many years. California, just look this up. California burglars bust into home, feed glass to family dog. Huh? Okay. Here's a different one. Orlando Sentinel. Burglar fed families rotisserie chicken to dog. A burglar desperate to avoid a family's dog while robbing an Ocala home fed the dog a rotisserie chicken from the family's refrigerator. When the homeowner returned to the house and discovered that his home had been burglarized, the chicken was on his living room floor. The family later determined that more than $13,000 worth of jewelry had been taken during the incident. So these burglars have all the time in the world to look, to open drawers, closets, do whatever they want. As I said, one made a cup of coffee. All they have to do is be sure to feed the dog. Do you really believe that the dog has an instinct to protect? Why wouldn't it kick in? Don't you think it would kick in? Even if you feed the dog something, maybe it eats it. And then it goes right back to attacking you because you're a stranger, you're a trespasser. I could see, okay, it gives in to its obsession with food. A burglar comes in, they slap a piece of meat down, the dog eats it. And then after it eats it, wouldn't you think it would then focus on attacking the burglar? No. What it does then is begs the burglar for more food. Just like you saw those dogs doing in that video. They'll just keep following the burglar around, panting, looking, breathing hard, begging for more food. This is not even the intelligence of a 2-year-old. You know how they say they have the intelligence of a 2-year-old child? I don't think so. Don't compare 2-year-old children's intelligence to this. Nothing is this dumb. So I try to push education here. I try to educate myself. And I'll just hop on here and share with you all what I've discovered. So if you find any additional information or stories about a mutt that was distracted, suddenly became non-territorial simply because food was present, share it with us all. I shared that information where they explained that a dog could be in the presence of what it perceives to be a threat to its life. And you can distract the dog from the threat if food is present. This is more proof of that, because the intruder could be the threat. The burglar could be life-threatening. It could be there to kill the dog. And you see yet another example that it can be distracted from what it perceives to be a threat simply by presenting it with food. There goes your highly intelligent, protective, territorial dog. They're not territorial. They're just violent, aggressive, dysfunctional, abnormal, worthless, good for nothing, not even good for protection, useless mutt. You even have even more evidence that they're not good for protection, because every time a dog attacks someone, it attacks someone that's not trying to attack it or its owner. It's always attacking someone who is usually a friend of the owner or a friendly neighbor, someone who doesn't mean the dog or the owner any harm. A mutant is good for nothing. When I call them good for nothing, I mean that. A mutant is good for nothing. The only thing needs to be done to a mutant is to be gotten rid of. I stand by that. So hopefully you all do your own research. Don't just listen to me, and share any juicy information you might find in the comment section. So that is all. Shout out to everybody who's able to join me for this brief live stream. And I hope to see you all on the next as we continue with this crusade.